guys, once again, we're in the middle of no fucking where, grinding gears. And, it's time to go back to a subject we did early on.
Yeah.
Wait, if you'll remember way back when we went to go get cake.
Oh. Side note, that's where Barry lives.
Okay, well, there was where a guy lived. Anyway,
That you work with.
yeah, he works where I work. We went past his house. Anyway, time to head back to a favorite subject of ours that I didn't know if we'd ever revisit or not, but tonight, it's shit stories, part 2.
Yeah.
And, since yours is the good one, I'm gonna go first.
Alright.
I was gonna tell this story the last time, and I decided not to, because it didn't really fit in with what we were talking about.
Yeah.
But anyway, I'd like to show that's my phone.
Yeah.
Why does that matter right now? I'll tell you why.
And his wallet was next to it, so yeah, that's another one.
Yeah, that phone and that wallet. But anyway. Oh shit, that's been a good while back now, because I've had that thing for a while. But anyway, one night, we were out, screwing around. And we stopped at Ollie's Bargain Outlet just, to look around. And I had to piss like I usually do when I go in places like that.
Ooh, I just seen lightning.
Yes, we did. And their bathrooms are like super ghetto. Like, you gotta go back in the back room and climb over boxes and shit.
In that Ollie's.
In that particular Ollie's. And, you wouldn't know the men's room from the women's room, because all that's in there is a sink and a toilet.
Mm-hmm.
That's it.
Yeah.
And I was wearing my purple hoodie. Again, this is important to the story. Because I was just wearing my sweatpants that day, so I didn't, have a lot of room in my pockets. So I had all of my stuff in the front pocket of my hoodie. So anyway, I go in here to take a piss into this bathroom at Ollie's. And I know by now you know where this story is going, so I'll just cut to the chase. I go to take a piss, and out of my pocket, flop! Fuck!
Both his phone and wallet.
Yes. And of course, it didn't take long, for whoever might have been standing outside the bathroom at the time to figure out what was going on.
Like me?
Yeah. So, all of my shit in my wallet was soaked, and I fucking just destroyed my old phone. So, I decided, fuck it, we're already out and about town tonight. We're just gonna get me some new shit. JCPenney is right across the road from Ollie's.
Yep.
So we go in there and find me a cheap wallet. And of course, mind you, the only thing I have to pay with is my piss-covered money.
Yeah.
So, sorry guy at JCPenney that might recognize me, but yeah, you got to handle my piss. So anything that was able to be dried off, I dried off, I put it in my new wallet. Anything that, wasn't important that was soaked, I threw away along with my old wallet. And then we headed over to the Walmart store near there, and I bought myself that phone that I just showed you. See, it wasn't really a shit story, but it could have been a shit story because it took place in the shitter. Right. So...
With that said, there's 2 more people that have stories about dropping cell phones
right.
in the toilet.
Because I'm not alone in this. No.
Natasha?
Yes.
You're up.
Well, I was at Kyle's, and of course, I had my phone with me. At the time, I did not realize that it was in my back pocket. So, what do? I get up, pull up my pants, and what do I hear? Kerploosh. Fuck. Goes my phone out of my back pocket into the toilet. And I had to pick up a pissy phone out of the toilet and try to make it work. Guess what? Didn't work.
Nope.
Didn't work.
Of course not. So yeah, that's story number 2. Now let's hear story number 3.
Me, I was getting ready to take Natasha home, and I had everything. I had my phone, my cigarettes, everything in my hoodie pocket, my front hoodie pocket.
This sounds familiar.
So I had to piss. Well, yeah. Go to unzipper my pants to, you know,
Right.
piss, and flop right in the fucking toilet.
Yeah.
So yeah.
So the moral of the story there, kids, is don't keep your phone in your hoodie pocket or your back pants pocket.
When you gotta go take a piss.
Right.
or shit.
Basically, don't take it to the bathroom, period.
Right. Leave that shit behind. All right.
But the best part is when he had to take that phone back to Verizon, he gave him the pissy phone and he got a new one.
Yeah.
Yeah. But me, on the other hand, luckily I had a smartphone to give to Natasha that was already on my plan. That wasn't being that phone wasn't being used. So, oh shit!
What?
Private road. Fuck.
Well, way to go, dumbass.
Well, I didn't know it was private.
All right, turn around. Went the wrong way, as usual.
But it says Rothrock State Forest.
Well, just go the other way. Who fucking cares? We literally have an infinite number of roads that we can explore. Okay, so we're not going that way. Anyway. So yeah,
Alright.
there's 3 very similar stories.
Of dropping your phone in the toilet.
Right. Now, before we get to the main feature tonight, I want to tell another story.
Okay.
I want to build up to your story.
Oh shit.
Because yours is... Well, let's not get ahead of ourselves here.
Yeah.
Speaking of my phone, earlier this year, at my job, some way, somehow, I lost my phone. That phone, the same one that I just showed you. I got home and realized that I didn't have it. Mind you, I had just gotten off of work at about 8 o'clock. I got home around 8:30. I'm like, where the fuck is my phone? I look all through the car. I look all through my house. I even started backtracking, driving down the road to where I thought I might have accidentally threw it at the window whenever I decided to throw my McDonald's wrapper out the window. It wasn't there. I tried calling it like 37 times from my house phone. Then I said, fuck it, maybe I left it back at work somewhere. So I drove clear back to work, which, mind you, for me is about a half-hour drive. So I go in there and ask around, anybody see a red LG phone anywhere? No. So I talked to one of the guys I work with. His name's Tyler. I said, could you call my phone for me? He's like, okay. So we walked out to my car, and he tried calling my phone. Nothing. He called like 3 times. Yeah. He helped me tear my whole fucking car apart looking for this thing. Couldn't find it. Went back inside, looked back in the break room, couldn't find it. Did a quick lap around the store because at this point I was getting fucking pissed. So I said fuck it, and I bought myself an LG Cosmos 3. And let me just say to the people at LG, that is the shittiest phone you people have ever made.
Yeah.
But I bought it because I needed one right then and there, because at the time I was expecting some important phone calls. But anyway, so I put up with this LG phone for like a week. Because, I had 15 days to return the fucking thing. So in the meantime, I got on eBay and bought an LG Cosmos 1 like the one I dropped in the toilet.
Mm-hmm.
That was what that phone was. I bought another one because I figured, well, I like that one, I'll buy another one. So I used it for a while, and I was content with it. I didn't love it, but I was content with it. Well, then about a month and a half later, another coworker who works in the electronics department of our store, comes walking up to me at my checkout counter. Hey, did you lose a phone? I'm like, where in the fuck did you find that? I'm like, oh, we found it back in the craft section in the back of a shelf. I'm like, I'm not gonna ask, just thanks for finding it. Took it home, reactivated it, and shoved that other one in a drawer, and I've been using it again ever since. It had all of the 105 missed calls from me and Tyler trying to call it. And all my pictures and messages and shit that were on there. Mm-hmm. But yeah, there's just a story of, I want to make it clear that very briefly, for a few months, I was a fill-in supervisor, and I probably dropped it when I was going to do a price check for somebody.
Probably.
And I just didn't notice, because believe me, that was a job I hated. Mm-hmm. I stepped down from that because it was enough to make me want to pull out every last hair out of my ball sack. So anyway, that's that story. So anywho, let's see if I got anything else before we get to the big story.
The crawl.
That's right. Losing stuff besides my mind. I got a small story. This happened to me when I was a kid. My grandmother bought me one of those Razor scooters. You still see them today. Kids ride them around.
Oh, hell yeah.
But back then, they were a new thing.
Oh, yeah.
I had one of the first ones. It had bright neon green wheels. It was a very nice scooter, you know. She bought it for me because it was a new thing, and, you know, I never really had, at that point, a nice bike or a nice scooter or anything, so she bought me one. And I'd ride the hell out of that thing up and down the street in front of the house, or if it was raining, I'd ride it around in the basement, you know, because, you know, we had a decent-sized basement to ride a Razor scooter in.
Yeah.
You know, and, well, one day, me and a friend of mine at the time decided to go back in the woods and romp around one day, and I had this scooter, and I thought I had it hid well enough near the entrance to the woods. So we get back there for a couple of hours, and, you know, we're doing whatever it is we were doing at the time. At this point, I don't even remember. Come back, scooter's gone. We looked all around where I left it, couldn't find it. Thought, well, maybe somebody knew it was mine and took it back up to the house. Nope, couldn't find it. Looked high and low for this thing. Never ever found it. So it was my own dumb fault for leaving it where I left it. But, you know, at the time you don't, when you're, you know, 10, you don't think of stuff like that. But anyway, we think one of the neighbor kids might have took it, but we'll never know.
Yeah.
And at this point, it doesn't matter. But then eventually, I got another one. It wasn't as good as my first one. You know, it was a cheaper version of it, but, you know, I got a set of mag wheels for it, you know, so it looked cool as hell. And I had that one for a while. And, you know, eventually I got tired of it, and I think I told the story of the neighbor girl I used to have that broke a lawnmower I had in a past video. I ended up giving it to her because she was a couple years younger than me. I figured she'd get more fun out of it.
Yeah.
So I ended up giving that one to her. Yeah, there's a story of me losing my Razor scooters, you know. And, you know, I was a kid where I had to have anything and everything that had wheels on it or a motor on it. As my neighbor would have put it, anything with a cord you plug in or a cord you pull.
Yep.
And, you know, it is what it is. But, I went through a lot of different bikes because I was the kind of kid where I would go to yard sales with my grandmother and I'd see an old bike and I had to have it.
Yeah.
So I went through a lot of them. And, I only ever had 2 brand new ones in my life.
Same here, I think. Yeah.
my first ever bike, well, I might have had 3, because my first ever one was one that my parents got me when I was real little. And I mentioned this one because they're kind of popular again. It was a Ninja Turtle bike.
Mm-hmm.
You know, and I was probably about 3 or 4 years old at the time when I had this thing. And of course, at the time we lived in a second floor apartment, so the only times I would get to ride it are like when one of my parents would be wanting to walk up and down the street with me. But whenever we moved, I don't know what happened to that bike, but it didn't come with us. Then I got a bigger one. Actually, I got 2 of them when we moved, and they both belonged to my older cousins. And you could tell which one belonged to which, because one was in good shape and the other one was a piece of shit. And I won't say their names or which one was which, but trust me, you could tell. And, you know, I went through several different ones after that, but what I'm getting at with this story is, one time when we were living at our old house, one of the bikes that belonged to one of my cousins, we always kept it right on our front porch. We had a screened-in porch. You could just open the door and park it there in the corner. No big deal.
Yep.
We had this neighbor kid. It was him, his older brother, their older sister, and their parents. These people were the definition of trailer trash. And they didn't have anything nice. Not a single thing. Like, these were the kind of people, there was like a junk car in the driveway that didn't run, weeds growing up around their trailer, you know, like car parts everywhere, like rusted up shit sitting around.
Basically, they had no money.
They had nothing. Like, their mother was a fucking alcoholic. But getting back to the point I was trying to make, you know, being the generally good-natured person I try to be, I tried to help him fix up the bike that he had. Well, apparently this little turd thought that because I fixed up something for him, that automatically gave him the right to take my stuff. Huh. Because I had given him that other bike that I had that was a piece of shit.
Yeah.
As a last resort, because after I tried helping him fix his, it was a lost cause. I said, here, you can have this one. Well, one day, I get up in the morning. It was a Saturday. I remember this because it was like right when school had just started for that year, and I was going to go outside and ride around. And I look on our front porch.
No bike.
There was a bike, but it wasn't mine. It was the one I gave that kid. So I walked up to his house and got mine back.
Yeah.
And I told his older sister about it because she happened to be there. And she didn't know anything about it because, you know, I was more friends with him than I was with his sister. But she basically kicked his ass.
Wow.
Yeah, he got beat up by his older sister for pulling one on me. So ever since that, I kept my bike chained up.
Yeah.
You know, up until I got rid of all that shit because I didn't, you know, ride it anymore. But, you know, yeah. So, speaking of losing stuff, there was something that was just straight up taken from me. So, yeah, never ever trust the neighbor kid. Especially when they had been smoking since the age of 7.
Wow.
Yeah, him and his brother, who was maybe about a year or two older than him, I'd go up to their place and there they are, sitting on their front step smoking fucking cigars.
Huh.
Which, who the fuck knows and who the fuck cares where they got them, but yeah. So yeah, these people were fucking trash, and I want to make it very clear. I don't have anything against people who live in trailers, and not all people who do are trailer trash.
No.
I'm just saying that these people were trailer trash.
Yeah.
So I just want to make that very clear. I'm not profiling here, I'm just stating an honest to God fact. So yeah. Now, I've been procrastinating this long enough.
Oh, God.
And we're 20 minutes in, and I want to preface this with the fact that I've already heard this whole story today, which I'm sure was done deliberately to prepare me for this.
Yeah.
So I know what to expect. So I've made this warning in past videos, and it applies now. Those of you who are squeamish, sensitive, or just don't want to hear this kind of shit, just stop watching this video right the fuck now. This is your last chance to click off and go watch something else. You know, go watch videos of the first season of Duck Dynasty or something, because this is not something for you if you cannot stomach something like this. And remember, I said we were going to tell shit stories tonight, so take it away.
All right. Place where I work, I'm not going to mention the name, the place I work at, nor am I going to mention any names. But I'm a mechanic at profession. I'm an automotive technician. And I deal with all sorts of people, you know, have all sorts of different weird ass people come in, and also some very pleasant people to deal with.
Guess which one we're about to talk about.
The not so pleasant person. So, alright. With all that said, and again, I will warn you, myself, my girlfriend about threw up whenever I told her this story.
And I needed a fucking beer. That's why I'm not driving this time.
And on top of that, I had to deal with this today.
Yes.
So enough said. I pull a vehicle around. My boss tells me, here, pull this guy's vehicle in and put a starter on it. Get it done fast and get it in. Get it done fast and get him the fuck out of here. He fucking stinks. And yes, I'm still having fucking breathing problems because of it. So, alright. Now, I want to make a mental note here to everybody. This guy just bought this vehicle the beginning of last month. He's only had it for about a month. So, with all that said, it's a 98 Ford Explorer with 215,000 miles on it. I was to put a starter on it. I walk up, he's sitting in the vehicle. He asked me, you ready to pull it in? Yep. Now mind you, the starter's out of it, so it's sitting there running. And I go to get in, he opens up the fucking door and it hits me. Fucking raw, just downright fucking cat shit. Alright. There is cat shit on every part of the fucking vehicle on the inside. Except for the driver's seat. There's cat shit on the floor. There's cat shit on the center console. There's cat shit on the dash. There's cat shit on the fucking passenger seat. There's cat shit in the back seats. All over the fucking place. There is an open can of cat food. Wet cat food. On the passenger seat. There is a dying cat on the dashboard. He said, I apologize, I have my cat with me because the cat is dying. I said, alright. He said, I'll put it in the carrier whenever you get it in the shop. And to top it all off, there is fucking maggots crawling all over the goddamn vehicle on the inside. On the passenger side, there's fucking maggots getting out of the fucking bottom of the fucking door seals and dropping out onto the floor. Not much stink makes me want to puke. Last weekend, Nate and I got rid of fucking got rid of crayfish, and there was some dead ones in a bucket for one day. That made me gag. Not enough to the point where I wanted to throw up.
That was a pretty nasty stank.
But this tops them all. I've smelt some nasty shit in my life. I used to work on a farm. I lived near farms. There's a pig farm up the fucking road from where I live. A pig farm smells like fucking roses compared to this guy's vehicle.
Yeah.
I hurried up, got the fucking vehicle in, got out of that vehicle, put it up in the air, started doing the starter. My boss comes out. Oh, is that the new starter, or is that the old starter in the box? No. I have yet to get the old starter out. Because whenever you get a remanufactured starter, there's a core charge on them and you have to send the old starter back. And mind you, this guy is sitting on the alignment rack in the next bay over, watching me work on his vehicle. Not only do I smell his fucking vehicle, I smell him. He smells like he didn't take a fucking shower in fucking 3 months.
Yeah.
Holy fuck! Dude, you need to go be put in a fucking home somewhere where you have no human contact other than what the fuck people are taking, or other than the fucking people that are taking care of you.
Yeah.
If you have that much of a goddamn hard-on for your fucking cats, you would realize that, the living conditions are obviously not good for my cats. He lives in a fucking camper. A 15-foot fucking pull-behind camper. He's got 23 fucking cats in this thing.
And I want to add that for a period of time, this guy kept his camper parked in the parking lot of the store that I worked at.
Yeah.
Still work at.
And he would come in there, use the bathroom, he would come in there, get food and all that happy horse shit, and they allowed it for a while until they threw him out of there. Then he went to the one down in Lewistown, then he moved his way on down to, I forget where the hell it was. Was there another one down that way?
In that direction, I'm not sure, but the point is he moved around quite a bit.
Until finally someone paid for a campsite for him to park his trailer in Virginia.
Yeah.
Then he wasn't paying for the site to park his camper there. To park his camper there. Yep, sorry, I'm still having a hard time. Still having a hard time catching my breath after smelling that today.
Mind you, he's allergic.
I'm allergic to cats, but on top of it all, I'm allergic to fucking mold, and that's what all that shit was covered in.
Yeah.
But, you know, that has got to be the worst smell I have ever smelled in my entire life. And I'm 25 fucking years old, and I've smelled some nasty shit.
And I just want to say that, on a side note that directly ties into this story, I knew a lady who lived in an old farmhouse, and she had about 40 cats around. that she could not take care of. So believe me, I have an idea. Maybe not an exact representation, but an idea of what this would have smelled like, and I wouldn't wish that on any fucking buddy.
You shouldn't become pet hoarders. That is not good for you nor animals.
Yeah, don't be the crazy cat lady.
And, you know, when I was done with the job, I pulled the vehicle up front. I walk in. Didn't even, I left the fucking keys in it. I walk in, I look at my boss, and I look at the supervisor. I said, fuck you. I don't care what you say. There was, mind you, there's customers in the waiting room. I didn't give a shit. I looked at my boss and looked at the service manager. I said, fuck you. I'm going to smoke a fucking cigarette after that fucking fiasco. I'll be back in whenever I'm done. So I did.
Yeah.
Granted, a cigarette shouldn't have been what I should have smoked. I should have went down to the goddamn liquor store and just grabbed the fucking bottle of fucking gin and just chugged it. So I wouldn't have to fucking worry about it.
But,
or just went up straight up to the hospital with a fucking asthma attack.
well,
We're gonna drive in England for a little while.
yeah, why the hell not? I say, it's a lovely night.
So,
There,
yeah.
but we've just offended the British viewers.
Sorry, but I was driving on the left-hand side of the road. I always do that on that turn if there's no other cars on the road. But, you know, in all reality, you know, the guy needs help.
Yeah,
I mean, if you're so worried about your cats that bad, you know, give
yeah,
them the justice.
yeah. If cats are your life, you have a problem.
You know, the
It's-
guy is an artist. He has fucking paintings in the Smithsonian,
Yeah,
but he doesn't have 2 pennies to rub together and a pot to piss in, and or a window to throw it out of.
Also, we should mention that we also know other people that stink, and they need to learn what personal hygiene is.
Yes. Not
yeah.
gonna mention any names.
We
but-
won't go there. We will not go there.
But, you know, and Nate was in one of my real good friends' houses, and the guy is not well, and he lives on a farm. The farm that I worked on whenever I was a kid. Nate will tell you, that wasn't, it stunk. Yeah.
It was more like a typical farmhouse stink.
Yeah. This guy's vehicle topped that.
Yeah.
100% to the fucking sky, topped it.
I mean, I used to have cats, you know, growing up. You know, we had like 4, like, at one point we had 6 of them, but the most we had for an extended period of time was 4.
Yeah.
And trust me, cat shit and cat piss are 2 of the stinkiest fucking things in the known universe, especially when it sits around for a while.
Yeah.
Like, you get that ammonia smell, holy fuck. And, you know, the way we had to dispose of that shit, you know, we had 5-gallon buckets of cat shit. We'd take it out in the woods and dump it somewhere because we didn't want to punish the garbage man.
Yeah.
You know, that's how stinky that shit is.
Yeah.
But yeah, that was our big story tonight. I mean, usually I'm the one that's got the long-winded stories, but this one was too good. You know, I had to, you know, step down from the spotlight for once. But yeah.
But, you know, all I can say is, wow.
Yeah.
Really?
Really.
And the sad part is, you've probably even seen this guy at work, Nate.
I've probably seen this guy, but wouldn't know him from Joe Blow. Anyway, I'm going to wrap this up with another story that's a follow-up to our last video. Speaking of not knowing somebody from Joe Blow. In the last video, if you watched it, which I know you didn't, but if you did, I was ranting about the shows Amish Mafia and, to more of an extent, Breaking Amish. The county fair is going on this week as we're recording, our local county fair.
Yep.
At the store I work at here a couple of days ago, this big hairy guy walks up to me and asks me, "Hey man, you ever watch Breaking Amish?" I'm like, "No, I've heard of it, I've never seen it." He's like, "Well, nobody believes me, but I've got Jeremiah from Breaking Amish with me." Sure enough, he did.
Huh.
I mean, I've never seen the show. I believe him, it was Jeremiah, you know. The sad part is this guy was asking everybody in our store this same question.
Wow.
Trying to find out who watches Breaking Amish. Nobody in the fucking store watches Breaking Amish. Nobody knew who this guy was. And Jeremiah, I'm sorry we didn't know who you were, but you're in Amish country. You're not that special to us. I'm sorry. But yeah, apparently they were making an appearance at the county fair this week. So I wanted to throw that in there because this was literally the day after we recorded the last episode of this show that this happened. And I was like, holy shit. I just ranted about this guy's show no more than 12 hours ago, and here he is standing 3 feet away from me. So yeah. And I think that's all we got for tonight because we're getting back home here. So that's it.